Hi everybody, thank you for joining us today. My name is Tori Garcia. I am a Customer Success Manager here at ThinkHR, and today I'll be providing you an overview of the ThinkHR workplace platform and services as provided to you through Intrepid, your insurance broker. So first place that I'd like to start is accessing ThinkHR. For those of you that are registered with ThinkHR, you should have received a welcome email upon registration with your account information. That welcome email would have provided a link taking you to this page that you see on your screen. In addition to the link in that email, there'll also be your account information, where here you'll enter in your username, which will be your work email address, as well as that password provided to you in that welcome email. Now, if you ever forget your password, you do have this forgot password link, of which you can enter in your email address and it will be resent over to you. If you ever need this information resent as far as the welcome email goes, you can contact your Intrepid representative and or contact ThinkHR directly. We do have a support line available to you for inquiries on accessing your account and troubleshooting. So from here, this will be your starting point, and once you enter in those fields, you'll simply click on this login button here. And that is going to bring you to Workplace, as you can see here. Now, Workplace is really the entry point and gateway of ThinkHR services as provided to you through Intrepid. So we'll be reviewing the components of your account, including our live team, Comply, which is our online resource center, and Learn Today. But a few things that I want to point out with Workplace before we dive into those products is, again, tying into that support line that I mentioned earlier with accessing your account. We have some navigation tips within Workplace that I want to mention here. First being this Help Me Find icon here. And that's something that we have incorporated here to help you find specific items within your Workplace account. We actually have an introductory video going through Workplace and navigating through the different components. We also have some key information on how to get to your issue log, which I'll present, as well as taking you directly into the training platform, which is Learn. And one thing you should know, too, is that we're actually going to be expanding this section to include some information from our live team on top questions that they receive, as well as components within Comply, which is our online resource center. Now, one other thing that I want to mention before I get into the product overview is that each of you actually have your own account information here, and that's seen through this little gear setting. Now, one thing is that you can actually go through your account information, edit your profile, contact our support team, which let me click into this page. And first off, we're giving you that support line, as well as an email address. Again, for any troubleshooting purposes with accessing ThinkHR, we do also have some preferred browsers as far as using the platform, which is generally Google Chrome or Firefox. We do support Internet Explorer as well, and if you ever contact our support team on issues like that, they'll likely give you the same information there, but they can work with you on an individual basis. We also have a navigation guide here for Comply, as well as that Workplace overview video. So a brief starting point for you guys. Before you even contact us directly, we do have these resources available to you. Now, one other thing is an issue log, and this actually ties into the live component of our platform. So if you do ever contact our team with questions and you need to retrieve those answers or even just check on the status of an issue, you can always log into your account here and go into the issue log. And that's going to have a full archive of all of the questions that you've posted to our team here, along with the responses that have been sent to you. So with that said, let's take it back to Workplace, and actually a great tie-in to the first component of our service provided to you through Intrepid, which is our live team. Now, if we scroll down here in Workplace, you'll see that we have a phone number listed here. Now, for any of you that are registered, you have the capability to contact our live team 11 hours a day, Monday through Friday, and speak to a live certified HR advisor about a particular question or employee situation that you're dealing with. And now these advisors, as I mentioned, are PHR and SPHR certified, but many of them have the experience and knowledge of actually working within an HR department. So they're really going to be great for you as a second opinion in some cases, or even just a first line of defense as far as a smaller HR departments go. Now, with calling our team, we do strive to answer the phone 100% of the time. There are some instances where it's a high call volume period, and so in those cases what will happen is you'll be routed over to a voicemail. But we do have that voicemail set up so the next available advisor on our team will get that information and follow up with you as quickly as possible there. Now, one other method in terms of contacting our live team with questions is actually logging into your workplace account here. And if it's something that's quick and easy, you might want to contact us via online, which gives you the opportunity here through Workplace. Now, if you're calling us, that might be for something that's either maybe urgent and you need to speak to somebody right away, or a more complex issue that if you're writing this out, doesn't really translate. That's when you can pick up the phone and give us a call. But if it's something that's quick and easy or just better suited for your needs, you can log in here and type out your question or issue. Once that's filled out, you'll see that we do have some other fields here of information that we'll ask for you, such as number of employees, your city, state, and even type of company here. Now, if you've contacted us or if you're calling us, this is something that our advisors will get up front from you. But as it's not that form of contact, we want to make sure that we get this information as it might be pertinent to your particular question. And it will really help our advisors best answer that question and provide all the information as quickly as possible there. Now, in terms of resolution, whether you're calling us, whether you're emailing us online here, typically we resolve all of our questions the same day that they are received and or that were originally contacted. And that happens actually 96% of the time, and generally within an hour or two. Now, there are some cases where maybe it's a more complex issue that will require escalation to a senior team member here, or it could be as simple as the time of day that we're contacted. If it's towards the end of the day here, it's likely that you'll hear back from us the next day. And that's our promise and our guarantee, is that we'll follow up no later than the end of the next business day. So kind of in keeping line with that issue log, though, if you're ever needing to check on the status of a question or issue, if it is something that's urgent or need anything recent, you can always call us using this phone number too, and you'll be routed over either to the advisor that's working on that particular question or issue of yours, or getting you to that professional, or providing a status update there. So one other thing, though, is that if you do receive, our information and you have follow-up questions, clarification that you need, please don't hesitate to contact us again. We want to make sure that your questions and issues are essentially seen through to the end of a resolution point. So please don't hesitate to follow up in any manner. So that's the component of our live team. One other aspect of your ThinkHR account, as provided to you through Intrepid, is Comply. And Comply is our online resource center. One way of accessing Comply is logging into your workplace account here and clicking on the icon. But one nice thing about Comply, and as you'll see even with Learn, is that we do tie in the human element of our platform and differentiator with our live team into our other products. And you can see that here in Workplace, these 3 items like an HR audit checklist, build a handbook, and even Q&A database, they're actually elements that are found within Comply. But because we hear from customers on a day-to-day basis, we're able to assess their needs and see what are the key items that they'll need to access and or new tools that we want to highlight that'll be useful to the customers. So you can see here that we've infused that power into Workplace and into Comply in making these particular items easy for you to access and navigate. Now, if these 3 items are any of the key pieces that you need right off the bat, you can simply click on those icons and they'll bring you into Comply. But as I mentioned, just a general entry point into Comply, you'll click on the link here, or excuse me, the icon, and you'll be brought to the Welcome page. Now, a few key pieces about Comply. You'll see right in the forefront we do have some popular tools, very much in line with Workplace and presenting those items here for you to easily access. We've got items like our Q&A database, which I'll get into. But some basic ones like job description builders, compensation tools, performance review tools, a white paper library, which we do push out content as far as updates go, and this is an archive of that information for you to easily access. So these are some of the most popular tools, but one of the infusing elements of the live team into Comply, an example of that is our Q&A database here. And what this database offers you is essentially, a full listing of the questions that we receive from our live team and our customers and the answers to those questions. Obviously, we'll scrub through and take out private information, but this is here for you to search essentially on your own and see if there's a particular question that we've already answered that suit your needs. Now, one thing you'll see here is we have most viewed questions, so you can see what's trending from other customers. So you can start typing into this database and putting in a topic or term, as you can see here. Maybe scrolling to a particular question that you see, or just entering in the full results page here. And you can scroll through, click into a specific question, and that's where you're going to be brought to the answer. So, one thing is that we do understand that there are situations and questions that may be unique to your company. But just given our expertise and volume of questions alone, last year we answered over 80,000 questions. So in those instances, a lot of times they may be unique situations to you, but likely something that we haven't dealt with. And so this Q&A database is a great example of taking that power and infusing it into Comply so that you can self-serve on your own, find the information as quickly as possible, and continue on with your day. Now, one thing, though, is that if you have follow-up questions to anything that's presented here, or maybe it's not as specific of a question that you're really finding, that's then obviously an opportunity to contact our team directly, and we'll work with you on an individual basis to get you what you need there. So that's one of the most popular tools that we've seen. One kind of navigation tip that I want to highlight in helping you find particular items within Comply is our intelligent search. And you saw that in the welcome page here, but it's also found on any page within Comply on the top bar here. And very similar to the Q&A database, you can actually start typing something in and scroll to a particular item. Or you can click enter and be brought to a full results page here. Now, one thing I want to highlight before I get into the intelligent element of the search is that you'll see the various content types here. So you'll see that actually throughout Comply in any of the other sections that you happen to access. But for the search purposes, you can get a little bit more specific. So if you're looking for something like a sample policy in FMLA, you can click into this and it will narrow those search results down even further. But one thing that makes this search intelligent is that let's say you type in something like FMLA, as we've done here, and you scroll down here, and the key item that you're really looking for is this FMLA administration checklist. Well, if you and the rest of the HR professionals that are using Comply happen to click onto that, our search will actually recognize and understand that's the key item that people access when typing in this particular search term. And so as time goes on, it'll actually up the ranking here on this results page to be more in the forefront and really understanding and recognizing the key items that people need to access and making it easy for you to get that information as quickly as possible. Now, one other component of the intelligent search here is if you happen to misspell anything, like harassment, which is a big one, it'll actually auto-correct that information for you and then bring out those applicable results as if you had spelled it correctly. We all know we have some errors from time to time, so this will understand that and get you the information that you really need. Now, if you don't happen to use the intelligent search or even those popular tools from the welcome page to navigate, we do also have these other sections here. All the way across the bar here. And they even get a little bit more specific as you move forward and further drop-down menus. But let me just click into wages and hours as an example. You'll be brought to that main page where you can see those subsections and you can get more specific from there. But one thing, as we understand that Comply is actually a very vast resource for you. There's lots of information here. It contains 50 states and federal statutes and regulations, and there's a lot of information. So we want to make it, as easy to use as possible in finding the information that you need. So we have this filter by state option. So if you're working out of multi-states, or even just one state in particular and you'd like that set, you can use the map here, select even federal information, click Apply Filters, and what it'll do is it'll pull out the applicable results just for those states or federal information that you've selected there. So again, trying to make it as easy to use as possible. And what's nice about this too is once you have those filters set and you happen to navigate to a different section within Comply, it'll actually keep those filters. And again, just pull out those applicable results and retain that information for just what you're looking for. Now, one other navigation tip and component is the resources section here. Here's where we have those popular tools. In the case that you aren't on the welcome page, we've got the job description builder, our salary tool, even the Q&A database, that white papers library, as well as a webinar library. So that's actually something that through your ThinkHR Access, as provided to you through Intrepid, we offer 4 quarterly HRCI credit webinars. So for those of you that are HR professionals and need to recertify, we actually offer 1 HRCI credit for each of those hour-length webinars on a quarterly basis. And those are great value because on your own, those credits could be quite expensive. And again, something that's part of your ThinkHR offering through Intrepid. If you ever need to navigate and find our past webinars, you'll be able to do that under the resources section. Well, one component of Comply that is great is that we take the power of our live team and infuse it into products, but we also are able to add to it and expand it from what we see come through from customer needs. And one example of that is actually our state laws section. So we found that there is just so much information, as you can see within Comply, that we needed to create a section that's a little bit more condensed as far as finding information just for specific states. And so the state laws section is actually something that's newer to ThinkHR. It was released in late 2014 and is a prime example of hearing from you and hearing from our customers on what they need the most. And so you can actually, in the state laws section, use the map or click into a specific state. And what it will do is it will pull out essentially everything in Comply that relates to that state. You'll see the various subsections if you need to get to more specific information here. But again, a great way for you to find exactly what you need. And lastly, tying back into that, you'll see that because there is so much information in Comply, we do infuse elements like the intelligent search, that filter by state option, and the state laws section. But if you do ever have questions on how you navigate Comply, what exactly is available, if you're looking for something specific, that's actually an opportunity for you to contact our live team. They are working in and out of Comply on a day-to-day basis, and they'll really be the great resource for you in not only those HR questions and situations and advice, but in navigating this portion of your account. So that's an overview of Comply. The last component as part of your ThinkHR package is Learn, which is our online training platform. So for those of you that are HR managers that need to take courses yourself and or considering creating training programs for your employees, which we know is a big topic these days in terms of compliance and standards, in order to access Learn, you'll be able to log into your account, click on the Learn icon here, and you'll be brought to a welcome page. This welcome page will provide you some information, such as a training course list. So Learn actually offers over 200 online training courses. And this course list is broken down into the different catalogs that we offer and all of the courses underneath that. So you can actually go through the list. You can log into things to Learn, and search particular courses as well. But here you'll see just the volume of courses that is inherently valuable and something that Intrepid is offering to you through your ThinkHR access. Some other points here, we have a navigation guide helping you through accessing Learn, some different points that we want to bring to your attention here, as well as a video. So if you're a little bit more of a visual person, the short snippet video will give you the same information as the guide. And then for those of you that have ThinkHR access, you'll actually have single sign-on functionality from Workplace directly into the Learn Train platform. But before I dive into Learn, I want to highlight for those of you that are ready to administer training programs to employees and you know what courses you'd like to take or have them take, you'll actually use this sample training invitation. And this is something that we've crafted for you, essentially for you to copy and paste the language and send in an outgoing email to your employees. The only thing that you'll really need to do here is to customize the fields, as you can see here, addressing it to an employee or a group of employees, entering in a course catalog, course title or set of courses, your name or a different supervisor of whom the employee will forward their certificate to, and send off. Now, your employees will just follow the instructions here in the invitation. First, actually self-registering for an account within Learn. So each user will actually have their own individual access to Learn, which ties into some other capabilities that I'll mention in the next couple of minutes. They will self-register, entering in their email address, which should be their username, and then you'll see this authorization key or company key. Now, this is something that's pre-populated on your particular sample training invitation that ties to your company, which then ties to some other reporting information that would be accessible to Intrepid or to ThinkHR. So that's important to note that this is something that will be unique to each of you. If you ever need that information, it's pre-populated here. You can contact Intrepid and or ThinkHR if you have any other questions on that particular key. But your employees will self-register and they'll be brought into the Learn environment, which I'll show you in the next couple of minutes. They'll click into a course catalog here, and then the specific training course or set of courses that you'd like for them to take. Now, most of the courses we offer about 30 minutes in length or less, and that's actually noted on the description page for you. But once they go through the presentation, there will be a quiz that follows. So as long as they pass that quiz, that employee will have successfully completed the course and be given a training certificate, something that they'll actually have within their own account and they can archive for past courses. But lastly, they'll just forward that certificate back to you or the HR manager as proof that they've completed it and your way of tracking who has taken all the courses that they need to take. So with that said, let me actually log in to Learn, and you'll see for those of you, again, that have ThinkHR access, you won't actually need to self-register. You're automatically set up with a Learn account. It's really, that sample training invitation is really to utilize for those employees that don't have ThinkHR access but need to take training courses. So you'll click on this Access Learn Now button, and you'll be brought to this welcome page. And this welcome page is going to be the same page that your employees will see when they self-register. And here you can see the different catalogs that we do offer. So if they're following the instructions in your invitation, let's say to click into compliance, they'll do that. We've got our harassment section, which is definitely one of the most popular sections and courses that we've seen over the years. Click into, let's say, sexual harassment. And here for you, if you don't necessarily have time to take courses and see what they're all about, you'll actually have a description here giving you some information about the course if that's a deciding factor for you in deploying that out to your employees. But they will start the course, which will actually open into a new tab. So one thing that we'll need to note here is that they should disable their pop-up blockers, and then they can start the presentation, go through the quiz, and hopefully pass that course. Now, one thing that a Learn offers is this My Courses section. So if you or any of your employees happen to X out of training before you can actually complete them, there is this In Progress section. So you can log back into your Learn account, go in here, and it'll list those specific courses that you still haven't completed. Click into them, and it'll pick you up exactly where you or your employee left off from so that you can complete the training there. And then you can see here this completed courses section where I was mentioning earlier where the archive of the employee's certificate will be. And if they happen to forget to forward that back to you, they can always log back in and regenerate it and resend it. So that is a high-level overview of Learn. Now there are some premium administrative features that are available to you. Learn automatically is something that you have access to through your Intrepid account. You have access to deploy this out to employees. You have full access of all of the courses presented here. But we've seen from our customers that there is a need for some further reporting information and administrative functionalities. And that's something that's tied into what we call our admin toolbox. There is a fee associated with it. If it's not something that is of interest to you, there's no need. Again, you have access to Learn already, but it does contain features like our consultant expert here, which will give you time with an expert on our team to assess training needs for your company, and then help you deploy that out. And then you'll actually have administrative capabilities within your account to add your own employees, setting up tracks, which is kind of that course offering for like a new hire training or required sexual harassment training for managers, and then tying into reporting features. So this is something that is optional and something that is available to you to upgrade on your own if it is of interest. So with that said, that is a high-level overview of the ThinkHR platform as provided to you through Intrepid. If there are any questions, feel free to contact your Intrepid representative and/or contact ThinkHR directly. As I mentioned earlier, we have that support line, but also this phone number listed here for our live team. We have an option 2 for technical support, and we're happy to discuss any of those needs with you in the case that you contact us first. So I want to thank everybody for taking the time today, and enjoy the rest of your day.